to this week's episode of the Pet Loss Journals, and I am your host, Louise, and this will be a solo episode this week. My voice is a little bit gone, you'll have to forgive me. It's been an exciting week, and as you might have gathered from the title of this podcast episode, I have written a book, and it's now out in the world, it's available. I'm still kind of in disbelief. It's been a hectic week, but exciting. It's just been a roller coaster. One of my favourite words to say, as you all know. But my new book is called The Pet Loss Journals. And really, I suppose you mightn't be surprised by the title of it. But it's all about how to find validation, comfort and hope after pet loss. I share a lot of my journal entries in this book. It is a little bit different to the podcast, and I share a little bit more. And I think in order to share that, I have to also share how I've come out the other side, and that's what I do. And in order for me to do that, I have to talk about the past and talk about the present, and that's what I do in this book. And really, it's written from the heart, and I've spent the last however many months working on this project, and I've wanted to do this for probably over 2 years, and I just felt that I wasn't good enough to write a book. And I know that's my own stuff that I have to work on, but I obviously somehow managed to overcome that thought and really write this book. And the reason why I did it is because I wanted to reach the people that really, really need this message, that really, really need to feel seen and heard and less alone in their grief. And that is the one reason that I wrote this book. Now, there's been a lot of emotion while writing it because I've been transported back to different moments in my life with my dogs, and some of them have been beautiful moments, some of them have been really traumatic moments, and all of the mix in between. So it's been hard, it's been difficult, but it's been rewarding, and I feel so grateful that it's out there. When I got my when I received my author copy in the post and I held it for the first time, I was like, is this actually real? This book has my name in it, and this book, it just honours Ozzy and Moose, and it's like they're forever alive in this book, and that's kind of how I feel. Like it's just such an unbelievable feeling, and I can't describe it really right now because I'm still in the disbelief stage this week, but it's just really raw, and I really just go into detail about the complicated emotions of grief, of all of the different sides of it that I have experienced, that I'm sure many of you listening will have experienced and maybe are experiencing right now. And I just want you to feel understood. I want you to feel gently held in your darkest moments of pet loss, and to know that the person that wrote this book gets it, and that's how I want you to feel when you read it. Some people might ask me, how do I know if this book is for me? And I want to answer that question for you. And if you're feeling overwhelmed with sorrow, guilt, even anger after the death of your pet, this book is for you. If you long for comfort and connection, like during this isolating time, if you're feeling so alone that nobody understands, this book is for you. if you want like a safe, non-judgmental place to process your grief, this book is for you. If you're looking for practical skills, practical ways to feel your emotions and to honour your pet's memory, then this is a great book for you. But most of all, if you just need gentle guidance to move forward while still holding that love for your pet and while trying to access all of the beautiful memories that you shared with your pet throughout your relationship, not just the end, then this is going to be a really helpful book for you. There are lots of coping strategies. There are lots of guided journaling prompts. There are lots of parts of my story that I tell that may mirror your own story, and that's something that's really, really special. I share lots of ways that have helped me to get through it, that have brought me peace and comfort, and I hope that they may resonate with you and support you and help you through this time. Enough about the book. Of course, I have to tell you where you can buy it. You can buy it on Amazon, all of the marketplaces. I will leave the link below to the UK Amazon and the US Amazon link. And of course, just search the Pet Loss Journals to find it on a marketplace that is in your country. I've just been trying to find the words. I know I'm babbling and may not be speaking in such a clear way. I'm still very I suppose emotional really, which I guess is understandable, but I've received so much love and messages over Instagram particularly, and I just want to say a huge thank you to those people who reached out to me, who shared about my book, who just, I can't even explain, I was actually crying like a good lot of Wednesday when the book was released, because I was just so grateful of the love and the support and the messages, and oof. I just am trying to hold it together now for this episode, because I was like, no, I better not cry, but crying is good, and my clients will laugh. They'll be like, you're always telling us it's okay to cry, this is a safe place to cry, and you all know that this podcast for me is my safest place to share and be open. But for anyone that has already bought a copy of my book, thank you. Your support is just incredible and means the world to me. And if you then choose to leave a review on Amazon, I would be so grateful. And I would just love to hear your thoughts, your feedback, and what you felt from reading the book, and if it guided you or helped you in any way at all. I would be absolutely ecstatic. So thank you. So yeah, I think I've spent enough time talking about that, because there is that sense of, I don't want to talk about promote my whatever services, and I feel a little uncomfortable doing that sometimes, because I'm always just coming on here and just talking about whatever comes up for me and different topics that I'm passionate about. But I guess I am passionate about this book, and I know that it's full of value and full of support. So thank you for listening if you've gotten this far. And all the show notes, or all the details, will be in the show notes below this episode. But there's something else I'd like to really, really talk about as well. And next week, on the 8th of May, Thursday 8th of May, 2025, I will be hosting a fabulous free webinar. And the title of this webinar will be called Preparing for Euthanasia. And it would entail practical tips and support for pet parents that are preparing for euthanasia with their pet. And it will be myself And it will be wonderful Gloria from episode 57. Gloria is an amazing vet and she is an amazing mom to Bitty, her gorgeous little dog. And go back if you haven't listened to episode 57, and Gloria shares about her own experience of anticipating the loss of Bitty. And Bitty is 14 years old, and her page is, or Bitty's page is at little_Bitty_boy. You have to follow that page, and it's like the heartwarming videos. Bitty is just adorable, and Gloria's relationship with Bitty is like so strong, so special, and I just loved speaking to her about her experience, and she gave so many good tips to help people navigate that time with their pet and end of life and leading up to that and how to make decisions. So that was an amazing episode. So what we're doing is we're getting on a live webinar on Thursday 8th of May, and it will be at 7 p.m. Irish Standard Time or 12 p.m. Canadian Standard Time. Gloria is in Canada. So obviously if you're listening and those times don't suit and you can't make it, once you register for the webinar, you will receive the recording afterwards, so you won't miss it. But it's going to be extra special to have Gloria on with me for a live webinar, and you will have an opportunity to ask Gloria any questions related to your experience and how you feel anticipating the death of your pet and end of life, and how you feel. And because Gloria is a qualified vet, it's going to be like so interesting, and there's just going to be lots that we can talk about. And really, like, what we can talk about is we're just going to kind of go with the flow. I'm going to kind of give the floor to Gloria, and we'll talk about things like what actually is euthanasia, like the process, like, because many people just don't know if you haven't been through it before, explained gently and compassionately by a vet. Also, we'll be talking about preparing yourself and your beloved pet for the day of euthanasia itself and what you want that to look like if you are in a position to plan that day. And then we're going to talk a little bit about soothing anticipatory grief by memorialising your beloved pet today, like as in presently. So that's something that's going to be really special to talk about. So we're going to touch on mainly those 3 topics, and then any questions that you might have at the end is really just, we're going to go with the flow. And I'm really, really excited because myself and Gloria have like formed this wonderful friendship through Instagram. I mean, we haven't met in person, we've met through Zoom, we've seen each other through video, and I think it would be lovely just as a change from the normal format of the podcast. It'll just be nice to have a change for a live webinar. So if you're really interested in attending our live webinar, I'll leave the registration link for the webinar in the show notes below, and the Zoom link will be sent straight to your email inbox. Be sure to check your spam in case it ends up in junk or spam. Hopefully it won't, but just double check if you did register and you're kind of wondering, where is that email? Just check there. So yeah, I'll be sharing more about this on Instagram. So it is next week. So there is some time for you to kind of pop it into your diaries. But yeah, I can't wait. I just can't wait. And like, Gloria is just an amazing human, and she often shares like so many like heartfelt moments and insights into the really deep connection that she shares with Bitty, and like she shares their journey together, like all of the highlights, and she just offers comfort and hope to those navigating all of the complexities of pet loss and anticipatory pet loss. So I think it's going to be a super important conversation and full of value, and I hope that you can join. I'm going to put up more about this on my stories on Instagram, and hopefully have a gauge of who can make it live. It would be great to have people live on this webinar as well. But of course, if you miss it, the recording will be sent to you. But yeah, I'm so happy. This is going to be kind of a short episode. There's something that's coming to my mind as well, and with the release of this book, a few insecurities have surfaced, and I'm unsure why, because I've shared a lot of my, personal, private, vulnerable life on this podcast since episode 1, and I think I've never really been aware of like, who in my life has actually heard specific episodes, like as in part of my circle, my inner circle, my, family, friends, that kind of thing. And I've always just like not thought about that. I know my partner has listened to some, and a couple of my friends have listened to some episodes. But now the feeling of, family and other friends and people in my circle, that I have known have bought the book and are going to read the book, there is that element of, oh my God, I don't want them to, change how they feel about me as a person, and there's parts of me that they never knew about and they're going to know now. And yeah, so there's an element there of vulnerability, fear, but I have shared parts of my life on this podcast for the last nearly 2 years, and I think that now that it's in a book and it's in a physical copy as well, I have to just make peace with that. And I suppose maybe it's the fear of judgment, and it's might be that's kind of resurfacing. And I'm working through that, and I think I have to be gentle on myself, like I always say to you, the listeners, and I think that's okay to feel like that, because this is a huge part of my life, and I may receive some feedback that I might not be expecting, and that's okay. But my hopes would be that hopefully people will gain a deeper understanding of the person that I am a deeply sensitive human being, and I hope that they can see that as a superpower and not as a weakness, and that's where I am with it. So if you're feeling that way, and there are parts of you that you would love your closest people to understand, and maybe just feel the fear and do it anyway, and speak to them about your insecurities, or speak to them about your fears, and see how that goes, if you feel that they're a safe person to talk to. And I've felt a lot of fear and done it anyway, and I did that when I hit publish on my book manuscript, and that was probably the scariest thing I'd done in a long time, other than recording the very first episode of this podcast, which if you haven't listened to, I would urge you to go back and listen to it. I haven't listened to it in 2 years because I think I would cringe. I was very nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. I feel a bit more confident recording episodes now, but really, like, you could probably hear in my voice the difference as the episodes have gone on, considering this is episode 69, which I can't believe that I've done that many episodes. But whoever has come along this journey since the beginning and has listened and supported and reached out to me, thank you. And I appreciate every comment, email, DM on Instagram, comment on Instagram. I appreciate everything, and I want you to know that you're not alone. Whether you experienced pet loss grief a long time ago and it's still affecting you and you're still struggling, or whether it's really recent, you're not alone. And it's so important to be able to speak your truth and feel seen and heard, and I hope that I can provide that space for you while you're navigating this really tough, difficult time of your life. So Sorry for the croaky voice this episode. I've been yapping all week and I'm going to have a really restful weekend. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from social media because I've definitely been, my screen time has been absolutely insane on the lead up to book launch day and so on. So I'm going to have a little break and I think I deserve that. I will hopefully get back to your messages and comments as soon as I can, but Louise needs a little rest. This is a short episode, but I think this is all I kind of wanted to say, and we'll get back to guest episodes and really informative topics on my solo episodes very soon. But before all of that will be this fab webinar with Gloria next Thursday, 8th of May, and please join us and register with the link in the show notes below. But until next time, take care.